What's up there, YouTube? Section 333 here. I am smoking the Peeper. This is actually the inaugural smoking that. I'm actually halfway through the bowl. It is, what are we smoking here? Blend number 5 by SUTLIFF Private Reserve. And it is the day before Halloween, so I figured, yeah, let me get like a little Halloween smoking. You think I'd be smoking the Dracula or something like that by Peterson, but like I said, I did want to try out this pipe. It's red, like blood. I mean, actually, blood is actually darker than this. I think I've done a review on blend number 5. I am not sure. I have to go back and check some of my old videos. But I do believe I've done a review on this. It's very reminiscent of McClelland's Frog Morton Cellar. In that it has that smoky retro hail. And surprisingly, the cut is very similar as well. Tin note is a little on the spot as well, but like I said, reminisce, not exactly. I wouldn't call it a replacement for Frog Morton Cellar. That being said, I've never been disappointed in the SUTLIFF Private Reserves either. And they were very reasonable. I think that tin was $5.99 on sale. They were having a sale on SUTLIFF Private stock, and I think the Molto Dolce was $6.99, maybe $7.99. I can't remember. So it was kind of reasonable for, you know, the 2-ounce tin or the 3-ounce tin. 1.5-ounce tin. It was a little wet. I probably should have let it dry out more before I packed it into the bowl. But I didn't, you know, I never listened. I don't even listen to myself. But it's very good, and the pipe smokes very good. Creates a nice ash. The easy smoking pipe. Could clench it a little bit if you want without biting down on it with your teeth. Like I said, this is more if you want to enjoy a full bowl of something as opposed to a small bowl. Like if you were doing a quick smoke, you would have to pack this less, of course. But if you were and it hasn't gotten hot either in my hand, this bowl. But if you were going for a little walk, or a longer walk, and you wanted to bring a pipe with you, you didn't have much space on you, you had a little vest or something, or a photographer's vest or something, or a little jacket, you throw this in there, and you have a whole pipe you can smoke with a full-size bowl. If you were wanted a short smoke, I recommend that that smaller Missouri Meerschaum, that little tiny pipe that they make. It's like a novelty pipe. The other one I recommend is that little Suge pipe that I have, that blowfish style. That's actually a perfect little short, quick smoke as well. I think we're about to get rained on again. That's right, we'll stick it out. So it's the day before Halloween, October 30th. Figure I get a little Halloween action in. This is the magic mug, they call it. It's actually a matte black mug like this around the top. And then if you put a hot liquid in it, it changes the color of the mug to this design you see here. This is a company called Phoenix Artisan Accoutrement. It's a mug made for them. They don't make the mug itself, I'm sure. What Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements makes is shaving supplies. So shaving soaps, aftershaves, colognes, balms, pre-shaves. They sell razors, double-edged kind. After the whole Gillette toxic masculinity thing, I decided to, rather than stomp and kick my feet and stuff like that, I'll just speak with my dollars, like a good libertarian should. So I took my business elsewhere. I found that I could buy double-edged safety razors for $20. I can get 100 of them. I can use them for 3 to 7 shaves, depending on how rough the stubble is that day. So basically, I could shave for a year for $20 some odd, plus the cost of the razor, which you can also get in the $20 range as well. Amazing. As opposed to paying $20 for razors, for a pack of 5 razors, and using them each 5 times, 6 times, and then having to switch off. So basically you're spending over $100 a year in razors alone, in blades alone, probably more, probably closer to $200 a year in blades alone. Now I can do it for $100. Theoretically, I could get 700 shaves for $20. So that's almost 2 years worth of shaving. Definitely going to get rained on. Well, we'll stick it out, like I said. So, I've been using this company. Reminds me, I like that old bay rum scent that your father wore, my dad wore. My grandfather used. They used to shave with the old, well, my father used the double edge, but my grandfather used the single edge safety razor and had the, you know, that the barber would use, you know. Yeah, now I know why they woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day, to get that 3-pass shave in, with the grain, against the grain, and across the grain. And now, granted, you don't have to do that with these double-edged fancy razors. They're not made for, not the double-edged, but for the triple blade and the quadruple blade and the Schick Quattro and all of that. They're not made to do multiple passes. They're just made for one pass, and it gets all the grains at once. So technically it is a faster shave, but I don't know if it's a better, closer shave. You also get more ingrown hairs with those too, and razor bumps, which you don't get with the single edge razor, the double edge razor, or a single edge blade if you make multiple passes. Weird, isn't it? So the other one's actually even better for your skin. And the barber told me that the single edge is better for your skin. So, and I can't argue with the results. And yes, I'm a man with a beard talking about shaving. I do shave around this, you know. But this company makes great products. There's a lot of companies that make great products. Captain's Choice. These guys make great stuff that I like. That's basically no animal fat and vegetarian as well. So, not that I am a vegetarian, but they do make, I like the products this company makes. There are other companies as well. Like I said, Captain's Choice is out there. Taylor of Old Bond Street, Truffet and Hill, or Truffet and Hill. Parasso. That's the Italian supermarket brand, basically. So there's a lot of great products out there that you could purchase for shaving. And also, to the environmentalist out there, and, you know, I realize that, like, as a person who hunts and enjoys camping and being in the outdoors, I'm actually kind of an environmentalist, too. I care about what happens to the forest, the trees, the jungles, things like that. I actually do care, and the animals that live in it. because I want to be able to continue to hunt. I want to be able to continue to enjoy the outdoors. I'm not one of these, oh my God, we have to, I mean, it's taking it too far. You know, the world's not going to end in 12 years. But I believe in being environmentally responsible, and as a happenstance of using shaving soaps and having to mix my own creams and things like that, I found that I'm not emitting CFCs or chlorofluorocarbons into the air by using the aerosolized shaving creams. There you go. Take that, Gillette. So, not that I'm on this rampage against Gillette. It's just that I'm one of these people who I speak with my dollars, you know. And aside from the fact that I'm also, I like a bit of a romantic, you know. I feel like the men of the previous generation, like my father, my grandfather, you know, these guys were tough guys, you know. I think of some of the other men in my family growing up. I have an Uncle Eric, who he's since passed away over 20 years now, but he was a vice president for IBM, and on 2 levels, first in product development and then in minority relations back then. So IBM has always been a progressive company, and I think, not to get into too political of a race, relations have always been a priority for this nation since African Americans have been given the right to vote, and since African Americans were given their freedom in this country. It has always been a priority since that civil rights movement, and it's one of those things, you know, like the Holocaust, you never want to forget it, but reparations is not the answer to it. The answer is you know, this man got an opportunity. You know, he worked hard. He worked 2 jobs, went to night school, got his degree in chemistry, worked for United Laboratories, Underwriters Laboratories, actually. I'm sorry, UL Listing. He worked for them, Underwriters Laboratories, and then got this offer from IBM to learn how to program. This was when computers were new, and he actually developed some of the languages, computer languages that they use today, and or helped to develop. So he got opportunities and took advantage of those opportunities and worked hard. He spelled luck, W-O-R-K. That's what he told me. The secret to life is luck, and luck is spelled W-O-R-K. And I said, that's not how you spell luck. He says, no, that's how you spell luck. In other words, you work hard, you make your own opportunities in life, and that always stuck with me. And he was a fervent believer, and his brother became a judge. You know, I mean, he's in a time where people of color did not do these things. You know, and he had this thing, you never could use your color as an excuse for your failure. He always said that. Never use that as the reason for you're failing. He says you failed because you didn't knock their socks off. And you have to go in there, you have to knock their socks off. And then after you get that job, you have to apply yourself to it so hard and put everything you have into it. You know? But he believed in putting everything you had into everything you did. Whether that was being a father, being a husband, being a vice president. You put you put your all into everything you did. And it was a very different generation that we grew up with, that raised us. And, you know, it's funny, you know, we probably didn't like the things they said when we were growing up. I can speak to that. I didn't always like everything that came out of my dad's mouth when he criticized me. But as I got older, I realized why he was doing that, because he really wanted me to succeed. He wanted me to be the best at what I did. And it's never, you cannot change the past, but anything that comes after that is your decision. You know, if you choose to lay down and die, then you have chosen to lay down and die. You have chosen that in some respects, you know. But if you choose to, you know, hey, this is not what I want to do with my life. I want to do something else. And it is never too late to turn your life around. I've seen 56-year-old women who are morbidly obese decide to take themselves to the gym and start eating right at the age of 56. Now they're in their 80s and they're in amazing shape. You know, I think the world's oldest bodybuilder is 88 years old, African-American woman. I cannot remember her name. It's Ernestine something. But she's like 88 years old. She's an amazing, or 80 years old, in amazing shape. At age, she looks like she's in her 50s. You know, but she didn't start working out till she was like almost 60 years old. It's a choice. You know, there are choices you make in life. You know, you never want to fall back on the easy argument, the facile argument. Somebody kept me down because of my color. Somebody kept me down because of my gender. Somebody kept me down because of my preferences of me. Then don't work for that person. Go someplace else where they don't. You know? Go someplace else where they will give you opportunities. You know? You may have to move out of the state. You may have to move out of the country. All choices. I don't want to rant. So, doing the Halloween thing. I'm working tomorrow, of course. Tonight I'm going to see Bob Seger again. So I will be seeing Bob Seger for the second time in a 3-week period. I went to Pittsburgh and saw him a couple weeks ago. Did a 2-day trip down there. Drove. And had a great time. It's a 7-hour drive. Beautiful drive, actually, too. And, you know, it really reminded me when I was younger. I drove cross-country twice when I was younger. And, you know, what a beautiful trip that is. You know, I've driven to Las Vegas, and I've driven to California, driven to Colorado, and I did that twice as a youngster and as a young man, and really an enjoyable trip. Really just a beautiful country we live in. Yeah, it's a lot of time in the car, but if you stop and smell the roses, it's pretty amazing. It's a pretty amazing trip, and it really reminded me of that trip. It was a 7-hour ride there, 7 hours back, 6.5. It really reminded me of all the things I really enjoyed growing up, and what a beautiful country this is. And you should see it. You really have to see it. It's beautiful land. It's beautiful country. There's all these beautiful towns. Pittsburgh is a wonderful city. If you have friends that live in Pittsburgh or family. My mother's originally from Pittsburgh. It's actually a wonderful city, and I love how they have reinvigorated that city and done so much to get that city going. And you know, it's good to see, and it makes you feel good that cities can be revitalized and have that renaissance, that rebirth. Yeah, you know, I mean, so I'm going to see Seger again tonight. I had such a good time seeing him the first time that got to see, I went out to dinner with my wife. We went to a very nice restaurant in the city, and actually I met Clancy Brown. That's kind of a big deal, for me at least, because I was a huge Highlander fan, and I liked all these other movies that he's been in, Shawshank Redemption. So I got to meet him, and he was in the same restaurant we were having dinner in New York City. But my wife, I was telling her about what a great time I had at the Bob Seger concert, and she said, you know, it was too bad I couldn't go on the trip with you, and I had wanted to take her, and she couldn't get off from work. So he added a date here in New York City. And I said, you know what? He just added a date. He said, would you like to go? And so we're going to go tonight. And so that was my anniversary gift to her. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to force ourselves to have a good time. And it's funny. You know, one of the things about life is stepping outside of your comfort zone. I've never really particularly loved crowds. I like quiet more than anything else, I guess, because work can be so noisy for me and so busy. I work in a high volume area, a large hospital in a very heavily populated area. So sometimes I do enjoy peace and quiet. And then even here, I mean, you can hear the sounds of the blowers and the generators and things like that. People doing work outside, even in the rain. But I enjoy quiet time. So I used to shy away from, it was a period where I was shying away from concerts and things like that. And then I have a friend who loves to go to concerts, and he drags me out to these things, and I always have a good time. And my wife is the same as me. Doesn't like the big crowds and things, works in the same crazy place that I work, and she likes some peace and quiet every now and then. And so when you get it, you take advantage of it. So we went to the Rolling Stones. We had some friends that dragged us to a Rolling Stones concert, and thank God they did, because we had such a good time. And then her sister dragged her to a John Fogerty concert. She had a great time. And so now I'm going to drag her to Bob Seger, and we find that if we force ourselves to just get out there, you wind up having a decent time. You know, she didn't even want to go to the city for dinner for our anniversary, and I dragged her out. We had a great time. You just have to do it. You know, life is for the living, and you have to get out there, enjoy life, live life, and I'm not saying you have to live it to the fullest and jump off of planes, jump out of planes and ski down mountains and, you know, go base jumping and stuff like that. If that's what you want to do, fine, go ahead, do that. If that's how you get your thrills in life. But part of life is actually just getting out and experiencing other people. And there's a lot to be said for human interaction. And interacting with other human beings, it will keep you sane, believe it or not. It will also keep you it will keep you cognizant as well. It will keep you sharp intellectually, interacting, having conversations, things like that. Socialized. It will stave off conditions such as Alzheimer's and depression, and those two are often linked. They're often linked. But having conversations with people, believe it or not, like even my mother, who has full onset dementia and Alzheimer's, also your cardiovascular health will also stave off those things as well. Like my mother has full-blown dementia and Alzheimer's, and it's usually the amyloid plaques in the brain. And her CAT scan shows perfect examples of that, as does her MRI. So that being said, she does better when she's stimulated with conversation, even if it's talking about random things she doesn't understand. If you start the conversation, she's searching for words, things like that. She can't find things. By a couple hours of a conversation with my mother, she is much more lucid and able to convey ideas and full, complete thoughts to you. So one of those things, though, is you want to keep a person active as best you can in those respects. But like I said, it's a Halloween theme. Going to see Bob Seger tonight. Hopefully it's a great time. This is a great pipe. You don't have one, I gotta tell you, pick them up. They come in a lot of different colors. They're not expensive. Highly recommended. But yes, this is a great blend. Great blend to smoke with. Very enjoyable. you know, very much looking forward to the concert tonight because I really enjoyed Bob Seger's last show. He had amazing guitarists in the band. The rest of his band is also amazing. It seemed like everybody in the band was like an all-star or something in the world of country music, or Nashville or something. So, or Detroit. You know, he's from Detroit originally, and Michigan. And, you know, it's nice to see someone like him, who's an icon in the music world, continue his career. And this is his farewell tour. You know, he did have some type of neck surgery, spine surgery, a couple years back, so he took some time off. And he has taken time off in the past. I think he had a ranch out in Oklahoma. Someplace, I think, where we were just raising horses. Like I said, surprisingly, this is a really good tobacco. Highly recommended. So listen, get out, have some fun, try your best to enjoy life. And like I said, you don't have to go someplace special or anything like that. Like I said, my wife and I rarely go anywhere or do anything like that. You know, just, I guess the last couple months we've been splurging a little bit. Because we're kind of homebodies. But you got to get out and interact with people. I think that's the key in life, is getting out, interacting. That's why there's other people. You know, seriously, they're not just there to live their lives. I think we're put on this earth to enrich the lives of other people as best we can, and to make a difference in the lives of other people. You know, and you know, if you look at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, legacy is that pinnacle, leaving that lasting legacy behind. In which case, you know, you did the right thing by someone else in your life, and you passed on your good values and morals and things like that, and passed them on to the next generation. You know, whether that be your own offspring, or whether that be a good friend, whether that be the offspring of a good friend, or your niece or nephew, or just a coworker, a young, you know, it's somebody you mentor at work. I think it's important that you mentor people so that they can achieve some form of success in their lives, and some type of gratification and fulfillment, personal gratification and personal fulfillment. There's nothing like the sense of going to work on a daily basis and doing a good job, and the satisfaction that comes with that. We've tried to make that sound like a negative thing in today's society, and it is not. We've tried to make it sound like everybody should be a rock star, a rap star, a superstar. If everybody could choose their careers, that's what they would all pick. You know, a young kid said he wanted to be a YouTuber. Everybody wants to be famous. Nobody wants to just be the guy who gets things done. You know, and there's so much more in this world than just fame and celebrity. So much more. And I wish people could see how vapid that existence can be, of just being a famous celebrity. You know, as a guy who has a YouTube channel, but like, I have 500 subscribers. Come on, you know. You know, I think it's amazing how people can, the value people put on celebrity, and the respect it commands. You know, they think that a person, oh, well, you know, Cardi B says this and Cardi B says that, and she's a Bernie Sanders supporter. So what? Yes, she has a voice. Yes, use her voice. You know, I can't suppress somebody else's voice, but in that same respect, is it an educated voice? Is it an educated opinion? You know, not to say that the opinions are less valid or anything like that. They're opinions. You know, but it's not the end-all and be-all because some celebrity says it or some celebrity believes it. You know, celebrities really should have no say in politics in many respects, but they have a voice, and they're going to use that voice. It's, like I said, there's such a large world outside of the world of celebrity. I mean, before Ben Carson got involved in politics, nobody knew who Ben Carson was for the most part. But everybody in the medical community knew who Ben Carson was, and Ben Carson was a rock star. You know, that's what I'm saying. And this is a guy who, you know, his mother made him read every day. Made him do his homework every day. You know, by all the standards. And like I said, he didn't deal with this, you know, I feel like I'm being, like I didn't get the job because of my color or something. He dealt with real racism. You know, my uncles and my fathers and, you know, my family, my mother, they dealt with real racism back in the 50s and 60s. You know, race riots and things like that, the Watts riots, Crown Heights. I mean, they dealt with the real deal, you know, and they persevered. You know, life judges you not by how you win. Everybody's ready to win. Life judges you by how you react to losing, how you react to failure. When you fail, do you curl up in a ball? You know? Or do you put your head down, regroup, and come back even stronger and harder? That's how life judges you. And that's the lessons that were taught to me by my family, my parents, my fathers, my mentors. Is everybody's ready to succeed. Nobody is ready to move on after they fail. And it's the people who fail and try again and try again and try again. You know, what is it? Edison failed like over 1,000 times in making the light bulb, and he said what he learned from it was how to not make. He learned like 999 different ways to not make a light bulb. You know, and then when he finally did create the incandescent bulb, eureka, you know, that's just how life is. You have to keep trying. Life is, and even if you look at Darwinism, it's those species that persevere. The species that persevere are the ones who keep trying. They adapt. They overcome. You know, that's the Marine Corps credo. That's just life. You adapt. You overcome. You know, and you know, that's what I say to everybody. You know, don't just lay down and die. You know, don't curl up into a ball. Fight. Fight for what you believe in. Fight for your own existence, your personal existence. Obviously, don't hurt other people. You can't hurt other people, you know. But you have to, if you fail at an endeavor, you regroup and you try, you know. And like I said, life is going to judge you by how you deal with failure, not how you deal with success. Because like I said, everybody's ready to succeed. Listen, sorry to preach at you guys, but thank you so much for watching these videos. I do appreciate it. Have a happy, safe Halloween, please. No trips to the emergency room. All right? I'm looking at you. You. Right there. I'm looking at you. All right? And, you know, God bless you and your families and everyone that's important to you, all right? Section 333 out.